Did you know that in 1868, America's Constitution changed forever? The 14th Amendment transformed civil rights protections, redefining citizenship, liberty, and equality in the wake of the Civil War. It declared that no state shall deny any person life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor deny to any person the equal protection of the laws. It was a promise written not just for a generation, but for all time. And now, to guide us through this story of justice and renewal, here is Pastor David, bringing history to life through the Voices of Life podcast, a ministry of the Church for Life.
Thank you for joining us today on Voices of Life. I'm Pastor David. Did you know that in 1868, America's Constitution changed forever? The 14th Amendment, ratified on July 9, 1868, reshaped the meaning of citizenship, liberty, and equality. It was born from the ashes of the Civil War, a time when freedom had been proclaimed, but justice was still uncertain. Before this amendment, the Bill of Rights protected citizens only from the federal government. States could still deny basic rights, restrict property, and discriminate without violating the Constitution. The Supreme Court's Dred Scott decision had declared that blacks could never be citizens. Congress knew that freedom required more than abolition. It required protection. On June 13, 1866, Congress passed the proposal. 2 years later, on July 9, 1868, it was ratified. By July 28th, it was officially adopted. In its first section, declared 4 enduring principles. All persons born or naturalized in the United States are citizens. No state shall abridge their privilege or immunities. No state shall deprive a person of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. No state shall deny any person equal protection of the laws. These words became the foundation of modern civil rights. The Citizenship Clause established birthright citizenship and overturned Dred Scott. The Privileges or Immunities Clause aimed to secure fundamental rights against the state interference. The Due Process Clause guaranteed fairness and later expanded to protect liberty itself. The Equal Protection Clause became the cornerstone of civil rights law. Together, they transformed the Constitution from a shield of government structure into a guardian of human dignity. The amendment's later sections addressed representation, rebellion, and public debt. Section 5 empowered Congress to enforce its provisions, a power that would sustain civil rights and voting right laws for generations. Then there was the incorporation doctrine. So did you know that most of your rights that you enjoy today against state governments come not from the original Bill of Rights, but from the 14th Amendment itself? When a Constitution was written, its protections applied only to the federal government. States could restrict speech, religion, or due process without violating the national charter. But after 1868, the Supreme Court began to see liberty differently. Through what became known as the Incorporation Doctrine, the court used the 14th Amendment Due Process Clause to apply most of the Bill of Rights to the states. There goes back to the interpretation that the court decided on based on the decision of Marbury versus Madison. So freedom of speech, freedom of religion, the right to counsel, protection against unreasonable searches, the right to bear arms, and the guarantee of equal justice under the law are all now safeguarded by the 14th Amendment. The doctrine grew case by case, decision by decision, as the court recognized that liberty must be protected everywhere, not just in Washington, but in every courthouse, classroom, and community across America. It was not a single moment, but a long awakening, a realization that the promise of freedom must reach every citizen in every state under one Constitution. Through the incorporation doctrine, the Supreme Court gradually applied most of the Bill of Rights to the states. Freedom of speech, freedom of religion, counsel, and privacy, all now protected under the 14th Amendment. From Plessy versus Ferguson to Brown versus Board of Education, from Loving versus Virginia to Obergefell versus Hodges, the 14th Amendment has stood at the center of America's struggle to define equality under the law. It reminds us that liberty is not static. It grows as conscience awakens. The 14th Amendment was not written for a moment. It was written for a mission, to ensure that every person, no matter where they live or what they look like, stands equal before the law. This is Pastor David, and you're listening to Voices of Life, a ministry of the Church for Life. Until next time.
The 14th Amendment stands as a cornerstone of liberty, a safeguard for every citizen, and a reminder that equality under law is the measure of a nation's soul. Its words continue to echo in every courtroom and every conscience, calling us to uphold justice and protect the dignity of all. This has been the Voices of Life podcast, a ministry of the Church for Life. And now, on behalf of Pastor David, keep the faith, enjoy your freedom, and the enduring the promise of the American covenant. Grace and peace. Until next time.